Hello everyone. I had a few questions from a few students who are trying to use MindTap to do the practice exercises, which is a good idea if you want to practice on how to program and how to code. And so what I've done, I've gone ahead and opened up MindTap, and the very first unit that has any kind of coding practice is in Unit 2. And if I click on the very first exercise, I'll show you how to actually run and check your work so that you can see how well you're doing. Notice all this 100% score, 1 point. I don't count these. They're not actually averaged into your Blackboard grade. So you can mess up. You can do all these you want. You can, handle it yourself. It's all on you. I won't be checking to make sure you're doing these at all. If you don't have MindTap, that's okay. So earlier I clicked on this and did the exercise very quickly, so this video's not too long. And here it is. Here's where I worked on the assignment. Let me go back to the beginning here. Here's the instructions of the assignment. Instructions: write a program that produces the following output. And it has this box with asterisks, and it has all this material. And it says, in the program, substitute the question marks with your own name. If necessary, adjust the positions and number of stars to produce a rectangle around your material, okay? All right, so I typed it all in. They had it started for me. They had to include IOStream and using namespace. They had the int main, and they even had these braces for me and return 0. So all I had to do was the cout part. So I typed in the cout, and how do I check to see if it runs correctly? Well, if you go over here to these check marks, you can click those, and then at the very bottom of the page, run checks. And if everything's correct, you'll get a little green check mark, and that means you did it correctly. All right, now if I were to mess something up, like take the end of this off, and then run my check, I want you to see what would happen. All right, so it says, yeah, I replaced my name. Oh no, look, everything didn't run. The output was not correct. The output is not correct. Well, that's because this line is not going to output at all. It's going to give an error. So if I put my end line back, then I run my check, I should get all green check marks, meaning that I did the program correctly. All right, now the thing about this is it's good practice, but you have to remember that it's a robot, and it checks your program thinking like a robot. So you might have something correct, but if you don't have it the way it thinks you should have it, it may mark it wrong even though it would run correctly. Now, if I was counting grades, you could do submit 100% and you'd get your score, but I'm not grading these. These are for your practice and for you to get better at coding. Okay, I hope this helped those of you who's wanting to use MindTap. At least you know how to run your checks and see how well you did, and it can check to see how your program does. All right, if you have any more questions, be sure and let me know. Have a good afternoon.